Hi, all, and welcome back to the Brick City Brown Chick Show. And for my short topic this week, I want to talk about voter regret. There have been lots of videos, especially over the last couple of weeks, of creators highlighting people who are talking about how they now regret the vote they cast for the current administration. They realize that they made a mistake and they did not make a good choice and that they didn't have all the information they needed to cast the vote they cast. Now, most of the creators who are highlighting these videos are talking about how this is a good thing and that people admitting that they made the wrong choice is a good thing, and that it means if this country survives the next 4 years, that is, if democracy survives, these people will make a different choice moving forward. I wanted to put my 2 cents in on this because I do not believe that for a single moment. And the reason I don't is the absolute pinnacle of what the difference between the left in America and the right in America is. When the left voted for Kamala Harris, especially in the case of people of color, we were voting for her not because she was Black, which is what the right will tell you that was the only reason we voted for her. We voted for her because she made her case clear about where she stood on issues that not only affect us directly, but issues that affect everyone. Issues like job growth, like home ownership, like racism, which the right swears is not still a thing. But if you've been paying attention the last 6 weeks at all, you know it's still a thing. The people in minority communities who chose not to vote for Kamala Harris said that they believed what her opponent was saying, that he was only going to go after the worst of the worst criminals in terms of deportation. They chose to believe that he would not implement some of his, let's just call them what they are, racist and nasty policies, which he already has, including scrubbing the government of DEI, telling agencies that they can no longer mark celebrations like Black History Month and Women's History Month, and trying to turn back the clock on civil rights. So at the end of the day, those of us who voted for Kamala Harris were voting for America, for everyone. And those who voted for the current administration were voting for themselves. Now, what is the difference between those two things? All of these people who are now expressing their regret at the way they voted are doing so because they are in the FO of the FAFO season. That things are now directly affecting them. That is why they regret their vote. There have been MAGA people losing their jobs, people about to lose their farms, MAGA employees who worked for the federal government who've now been dismissed or fired or put on administrative leave or whatever has happened. They only regret their vote because it affects them. That is not change. These people were perfectly okay with the fact that this president was going to make life hell for everyone else, for women, for people of color, for immigrants. They were fine with that. And they are still fine with that. They are only upset now because they are being directly affected. And that means they haven't learned anything. That means they're okay with the lying and putting a immigrant in charge of the government, but apparently that's okay because let's make no mistake, he is from apartheid era South Africa and still believes all of that white superiority nonsense. These people are okay with all of that. They are just upset now because this administration doesn't care what happens to them. As long as this administration has power and they feel they can do whatever they want and the courts won't stop them, they are going to make everyone's life a living hell, not just people who look like me. So I am of the belief that if you regret your vote and you voted for this president, you need to search your soul and figure out why. If it's only because it affects you now, then you learn nothing. And you are no better today than you were on November 5th. That is my thought for this week. I appreciate everybody coming back to hang out with me for a few minutes. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Right down below my image, there's a subscribe button. Please click on that. Leave me any thoughts or any comments. If you feel differently, let me know why. And we can have a respectful discussion. Everybody take care, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.